Hi guys, and welcome back to Cooking Up Claire, my show that will hopefully help you brush up in the kitchen, allow me to grow my cooking skills, and give us a community to learn from each other. This week, we are tackling one of my favorite leftovers, fried rice. It's a super quick dish that is great if you are cooking for a dinner party, date night, or even just yourself. While the recipe in this video is, in my opinion, the best fried rice recipe you can make, there's no right or wrong way to make fried rice. Unless, of course, you don't use rice, or add pineapple to it like pizza. After doing some research, I found that there are a lot of differing opinions on the correct way to make fried rice. We have Binging with Babish's recipe, which recommends taking the eggs out and only adding them back in at the end. He also uses soy sauce and oyster sauce. We also have the top fried rice video on YouTube from Hiroyuki Terada, which recommends leaving the eggs in through the cooking process and only adding soy sauce. And finally, we have Benihana's recipe, which includes their secret ingredient, garlic butter. If you're interested in any of these videos, or just don't trust me as your fried rice authority, I link them all below. To truly find the best homemade fried rice recipe, I decided to narrow down the playing field and play a little bit of, not fantasy football, fantasy fried rice, because food really should be a sport. Our picks for today's game include whether fried rice is better with leftover or fresh rice, whether to cook the eggs separately or with the rest of the dish, which sauces to include, and the piece de resistance, whether Benihana's garlic butter is worth the hype. Spoiler, it totally is. Let's look at our first pick, leftover or fresh rice. The two contenders had a tough match, but in the end, fresh took the title. It left the rice way more flavorful and is much easier when cooking fried rice on a whim. While leftover fried rice is obviously a great choice if you have it lying around from last night's dinner, if you're making this for a crowd or date night, I'd recommend making it fresh. The first important step to cooking rice is to give it a really good rinse. Like a really, really good rinse. Rice has a lot of starch that you have to get rid of that makes all this water cloudy. Not good. Once the water starts running clear, then you're good to go. Now that you have clear, non-starchy rice, you need to find the right water to rice ratio. My first batch, I actually follow the ratio included on the back of the package. 2 cups water to 1 cup rice. And it was a total dud. The grains were waterlogged, sticky, and terrible for fried rice, or really anything rice-related. My second attempt, I followed what, in my opinion, is a much better ratio. 1 cup water to 1 cup rice. It leaves each individual grain fluffy and chewy and, most importantly, not sticky. Now that we have freshly cooked rice, we are met with our second match. Whether to cook the eggs separately or leave it in through the frying process. In the end, this came out as a tie. It really depends on your personal flavor preference. When testing these choices, my cameraman and fiancé Brett and I did not see eye to eye. I, for one, liked leaving the eggs in for the whole cooking process. It helps mesh all the flavors together and doesn't leave the rice tasting too eggy. Brett, on the other hand, prefers the freshness of the egg and insists that you should cook the eggs separately and add it in at the end. At the end of the day, it really just comes down to how much you like the flavor of eggs. For this version, since I am the cook here, I will make the rules and we will leave the eggs in. I'm also going to top this with a fried egg since that is my personal preference. To start your fried rice, heat your pan over medium-high heat and add a half and half mixture of sesame oil and vegetable or canola oil. Toss in 1 egg per serving and scramble until the curds just begin to separate. If you're in Brett's camp and prefer eggier eggs, take these out now and add them back in at the end of the frying process. Next, drop in your heartier vegetables that need time to break down. I'm adding half an onion and about a 1/4 cup of carrots per serving. If you're adding peas, I disagree with your taste, but I would recommend waiting to add those also. Once our onions are looking nice and translucent, we are going to drop in our rice. I usually add about 1 cup per serving. Now we have reached our third matchup, which sauces to include. I found that the combination of 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, a teaspoon of rice wine vinegar, and a teaspoon of fish sauce added another layer to an already awesome dish. It is salty and savory, and the vinegar adds just a little bit of zing right at the end. Let this cook for a few minutes, mixing constantly until you see that some of the rice is starting to caramelize. Once you see that, it is time for our fourth and final round, whether Benihana's garlic butter makes a difference. The first time I tried this, I actually added grated garlic, and the flavor was totally overpowering. I had the best luck adding minced garlic and a tablespoon of butter towards the end of the cooking process. Once you start seeing those caramelized bits, add in the garlic, the butter, the scallions, the eggs if you're adding them at the end, and peas if you are really a peas person. Continue to mix your rice until all the butter is melted and any minced garlic you can see is no longer raw. From here, you're ready to serve. As I mentioned previously, I like to serve my rice with a fried egg on top, a sriracha drizzle, and extra scallions. And there you have it, the best fried rice recipe I could find. I would like to thank all of the players for participating. In the end, it's about the journey, not the destination. If you give this a try, don't forget to tag me on Instagram at CookingUpClaire. For the full recipe, click the link below. And don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, and leave a comment with your thoughts. Thank you so much, and see you next time on Cooking Up Claire.